Remember that old wallpaper we used to have? In that one room with the funky colors and those weird sunburst patterns or whatever? Okay, good, because that's what we're doing. That Old Wallpaper is a game of drafting columns of wallpaper cards and piecing them together to most closely recreate the patterns from your memories. Welcome to my review of That Old Wallpaper. Hey everyone, this is Attackers. Today I will be showcasing That Old Wallpaper by Alderac Entertainment Group, a puzzle game for 2 to 5 players that plays in 15 to 30 minutes, but as it often is with these time estimates, it can possibly take a bit longer. As usual, before I'll give you my review, let me show you how to play the game first. For the setup, hand each player a set of player cards in their desired color. They are numbered from 1 to 10. Each player shuffles their cards, places them face down in front of them, and draws as a starting hand of 5 cards. Then, place each player's perfect recall token in a line near the center play area arranged by age, while the youngest player is first in line and the oldest player last. Of course, you can also arrange them however you choose. As in all of my reviews, I suggest another method. Hand each player 20 random wallpaper cards. Then, each player uses all cards to puzzle together a perfect 4x5 wallpaper. The fastest player goes first in line, then the second player follows, and so on. Yes, all symbols have to match. Then collect all wallpaper cards again. Shuffle the deck of wallpaper cards to form a face-down draw pile in the center of the play area. Draw a number of wallpaper cards face up in the play area equal to the number of players. Arrange them in columns like this. If a card with this red symbol in the center is placed, immediately draw another card and place it face up in the same column below the previous card, just like this. This column closest to the draw pile is the low end, and this one farthest from the draw pile, the high end. Place the hazy memory cards, which are all double-sided and identical, in a pile near the play area. Last but not least, place the round cards in a deck to the side of the play area with the round 1 card on top, the round 2 card directly underneath, and the final round card at the bottom of the deck. That's the entire setup. The play area should now look like this in a 3-player game. The game is played in a series of turns that look like this. Players simultaneously choose one of the numbered player cards from their hand and place it face down. Once all players have done so, they all reveal their cards at the same time. Place the card with the highest numerical value above the column of wallpaper cards at the high end. The card with the next highest numerical value above the next column to the left of it, and so on, until the column at the low end contains the cards with the lowest values. If 2 or more players have played the same number, those players bump each other. Place those cards sideways above the number of columns corresponding to the number of players who have bumped on that number, blocking those columns off, and then continue placing the rest of the cards. Any player who played a number that no other player did takes the corresponding column of wallpaper cards to place in their wall immediately. Players who have bumped each other use the order of the perfect recall tokens to resolve the situation. The player whose token is closest to the front of the line breaks the bump, claims whichever of the bumped columns they choose, and places the wallpaper cards in their wall immediately. Move that player's perfect recall token to the end of the line. All other bumped players receive a hazy memory card that they can place at the end of the game. More on that a bit later. All unclaimed wallpaper cards remain for the next round. All players receive the player card they played and place it face up in front of them in their discard area. All of these cards need to be visible at all times for all players. Then each player draws a single new player card from their draw pile. Then draw and place a new wallpaper card at the bottom of each column, even those that still have a wallpaper card. Remember to draw and place an additional card whenever a card with this red symbol is drawn and placed, just like it was done during setup. Now you can begin the next turn. At the end of the 6th turn, the players' draw piles will be empty. Take your 6 played cards in your discard area, shuffle them, and create a new draw pile from which you will draw a new card to bring your hand back to 5. Then place the round 1 card at the bottom of the deck, revealing the round 2 card. You do the same after another 6 rounds. At the end of the 18th turn, when you are again unable to draw a new player card, the game is over. Now all players take any hazy memory cards they acquired during the game and add them to their wall. That's how the game is played. Let me now go over scoring and wallpaper placement. The placement rules of the wallpaper cards are quite intuitive. They must always be placed adjacently to another card already placed. You may rotate them, but of course the length of the touching sides need to match. You don't necessarily need to match patterns, but doing so gives you more points. More on that in just a minute. Wild patterns placed correctly also complete shapes. They may also be placed next to other wild shapes, but they don't score points at the end like this. Alright, let's go over the scoring now. You receive 2 points for each pair of completed big and small shapes in the same color. This can be calculated like this. Write down the number of completed big and small shapes. Then take the smaller of those two numbers, multiply it by 2 and write it down in the right part of the scoring sheet. Then count your unique mementos, which are these purple shapes. For one unique memento you receive 1 point. 2 unique ones grant you 3 points, 3 give you 6 points, and having all 4 unique mementos award you with 10 points. Count these red symbols you have. The player with the most of these symbols loses 2 points, the player with the least red symbols gains 2 points. The player whose perfect recall token is first in line scores 2 points. And that's all. The player with the most points wins the game. In case of a tie, the player with the fewest red symbols wins. If there's still a tie, you share the victory. Or you just repeat my method of determining a starting player to break the tie. There's another small thing to note. If you want to play this at a 2-player count, you set up the game like you would for a 3-player game. The third imaginary player is Grandma. She doesn't score points, but she's competing with you to take wallpaper columns. Her perfect recall token is placed at the end of the line. The only other differences are that every round you turn 1 card over from Grandma's player cards pile, and that Grandma never takes hazy memory cards when you resolve a bump she's involved in. Also, whenever you need to draw a card from Grandma's draw pile and it is empty, you shuffle her discarded cards to form a new draw pile for her. Alright, that's all you need to know to play That Old Wallpaper. But what do I think about the game? Well, let me tell you. The theme of this game is wonderful. Matching these wallpaper patterns resembling your memory of them is lovely. It also works quite well. I always love it when themes are different and unique. The hazy memory cards are such a nice thematic touch. I really love that. I also like the quality of the components. The cards have a good quality, especially the hazy memory cards look great. The tokens are made from wood, which is always appreciated. The puzzling mechanism itself is really engaging and fun. But I need to admit that I'm a bit biased here, since I love puzzle games in general. In this game it works well, since oftentimes you need to puzzle more than one side at the same time, which makes this puzzle quite exciting at times. The bidding mechanism, if you can call it that, is too luck driven in my opinion. You never quite know if you can actually get the wallpaper card you're aiming for. Normally that wouldn't be a problem, but in this game it's possible you need just that one card and all other cards are unusable for you. That can be very frustrating. Yes, you're able to use most cards, especially as your wallpaper grows, but still, the mechanism isn't the best one for this exact puzzle. Here, this mechanism does not fit the game in my opinion. The endgame scoring really took me by surprise. I find it quite convoluted. Yes, it works, but this leads to the situation that you need to keep all the scoring mechanisms in mind when playing the game. This makes the game quite a bit more elegant as games such as Cascadia. But then again, this comparison is a bit unfair since Cascadia is amazing. All in all, I generally did enjoy playing this game. The theme really speaks to me and is well realized. Also, the puzzle is well realized. You always need to be on your toes here. Unfortunately, the game is let down by the blind bidding that is mostly just chance except if you're a card counter. And even then, you're pretty limited in the first rounds. I don't know if I can recommend this game. It's not bad. But there are pattern building and simultaneous selection and bidding games out there that are better. It's a shame since the theme is really charming and unique. Also, the scoring is a bit too convoluted. I wish they would have streamlined this a bit more. I would play this game if someone asked me to. But if I had to choose a puzzle game to pull off my shelf to play, I'd rather go for other games, such as Cascadia, Calico, Five, Verdant, Patchwork, Kohaku, and many others. I could go on and on here. Well, congratulations, you made it to the very end of my review for That Old Wallpaper. Have you played the game yourself? If so, why don't you let me know in the comments how you like it? Alright, that's all from me for today. I want to thank all of you for your support. Especially I'd like to thank my patrons who are generously supporting me on Patreon. The biggest thanks go out to Thakono for being the biggest supporter. I'm really grateful for that. If you would also like to support me on Patreon, feel free to check out the tiers over there. You'll find the link in this video's description. But I'm thankful for any kind of support, especially a like and a comment. And if you'd like to stay up to date with my future video releases, why don't you subscribe to my channel? That would just make my day. Also, you can hang out with me and my community on my Discord server. I'd love to see you over there. Alright, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the very next video or on my Discord server. Take care everyone, stay safe and cheers.